Hey YouTube, what's going on? It's Rob with Spread Splash Fragrance Reviews. Up late night, just figured I'd hit record and go through a few fragrances I recently picked up. If you're interested in finding out what those fragrances are, please stay tuned. All right, guys, so I have picked up a few fragrances over the last month or so and wanted to share those with you guys. First one is from the Guerlain Ideal line, and this is Guerlain Extreme. This was all the hype some months ago when it actually had a slightly different presentation. It was a red top, and I think the lettering was a different color, and it was so hard to get. For those that don't know anything about this fragrance, there are multiple fragrances under this Ideal line, and they all kind of center around the almond note. And this one not only has the almond, but it's also got tobacco and plum. I think plum is probably the most dominant note outside of the almond, and it's a nice touch. It's a really nice fragrance. I've actually got, I think, 5 or 6 from this Ideal line already, and I'm pretty much done right now. I will say the El Intense or El Intense is my favorite out of the ones I have. But if you, for the most part, have been liking most of the releases within the Ideal line, I think you're going to like this one. I'm happy I have it in the collection. They are kind of somewhere between like the $75 to $100 mark whenever you find them for the 100 mil at least in price. But nice quality. Guerlain is always, really, really smooth, really polished, really easy to wear fragrances that do garner compliments, and they're like dumb reaches in my humble opinion. So I'm happy to have this one. I think it is a solid pickup and worth checking out. All right, this is Guerlain Ideal Extreme. Kind of staying in the spirit of like plum based fragrances, I got another one that I picked up about a year back that I kind of wanted to just briefly talk about as an option. I do want to say that it is a inspiration, all right, fragrance, and I know it was I guess inspired by the Andy Warhol Bond Number 9 fragrance that was like all the rage in Fragcom about 5 years back. And I know it became pretty hard to find, and I had happened to be looking at their website and saw that they had did their own inspiration of it, picked it up, and this is also based upon plum. It's called Fame Number 15. I don't know if you can even see that. It's a 100 ml bottle, and they don't even really have the 100 ml bottle anymore. Last time I checked, I think they've changed to a different bottle style, and I think it comes in a 30 and a 60. What this is basically is it's a smoky plum, something that I think would be great for nighttime, going out bar and grill type situations. It's got a seductive feel to it, and it performs well. So I've never really smelled the actual Andy Warhol, so I can't really comment if it's like a great, copy of it, or if it's like 80%, 90%, any of that stuff. Do your research, check it out. I don't think you can go wrong per price point, and it's a great option. All right, so again, Fame Number 15 by Alexandria Fragrances. Staying in the same spirit, got another fragrance that's not like a plum note, but it's actually a date note. I know they're different, but there's certain similarities, in my opinion, between like a date accord and like a plum accord. And I think the date accord is a little bit sweeter, but they're still kind of similar. So the fragrance is Luminous Nights from Dolce and Gabbana, and this one is cool because it's got like a nice balance, because in the beginning it's black pepper and bergamot, and then in the mid you've got the date, but it's also got geranium, which kind of gives it like this cleanness to it. And then in the base you've got like incense and then sandalwood to give it a little bit of creaminess. So you've kind of got stuff that offset the sweetness, and it performs well. It smells good, but it is one that if you are looking for something a little bit different, it's worth checking out. So just wanted to speak on it really briefly. Luminous Nights, Dolce and Gabbana from the One line. Two additional brand new pickups, and this is from the house of Argos. This is Triumph of Bacchus, and I think it's pronounced Bacio, Immortale. All right. First, Triumph of Bacchus. This is a nice tobacco fragrance. Quick story about this fragrance. I wore it to work for the first time last week. And to get to my desk, I have to walk past about a good 8 or 9 women that sit in this one aisle. And as I walk past the aisle, they all commented, like literally, like immediately, "Oh wow, this is a good fragrance. That smells good. You smell great today." And they know I like to wear fragrance because they will often comment, but I had never gotten this type of reaction before. So this is a fragrance that definitely is an appealing smelling fragrance. And I'll put everything on the screen, but what I get from the fragrance is, in the beginning, it's got this nice, like boozy peach accord. Then you kind of get into like the tobacco, and it's never really overpowering. It's never really like smoky at all. It's just kind of earthy. You know what I mean? And then like in the base, you've got this vanilla, and I believe maybe like a sandalwood accord that's there. So it's got this, there's a lot of notes, but it's kind of got this warmth to it. I think there's like amber and maybe even a little bit of musk in the base. I can't remember off the top of my head, but tobacco with like a little booziness in the beginning with this peachy accord, and then you get the warmth of like this amber-like feel with the vanilla and sandalwood. So, but just a really nice fragrance, and it wears really well. I typically wouldn't wear it to the office, but I just said, I'm gonna wear this one a day, and I wore it, and I got really positive feedback. So nice release, Triumph of Bacchus, Argos. The other one, Bacio Immortale. This one is, it feels like a copy of Tuscan Leather. I used to have the La Yucawam, which was a copy, I want to say about a year and a half back, and I sold it. And I haven't smelled Tuscan leather, the original, in quite a while. But to me, this feels a lot smoother than La Yucawam. It is a nice leather fragrance that's got this cool berry accord. It's almost like it's got like this creaminess to the fragrance also. I haven't had the chance to wear this one out to see what kind of reaction I get, but I'm really excited to have it, and it smells of high quality. And this has also got really nice presentation. I mean, I like the little metal plaque, and then like it's got a really nice solid metal top. So, and again, this one was also around the same price as Triumph of Bacchus. Happy to have this one in the collection. I think it's a really nice release, even if it is, a copy or inspired by Tuscan Leather. It's a great fragrance. So again, Bacio Immortale. There's a oldie but goodie that I kind of want to reintroduce to my rotation that I haven't worn in quite a while, and that is Pie by Givenchy. Really solid release that came out in '98. But for some reason, whenever I think about this fragrance, I always think about it as more of a like 2002, 2003 type release. I want to say that I remember purchasing this fragrance in Las Vegas on the Strip. I think it was like around '05. I do remember when I smelled it, there wasn't really nothing exactly like it that was out. This is a heavy like tonka, vanilla, benzoin type fragrance. It's got more notes than that, but that's kind of like primarily what I get from the fragrance. It always wore really well, good performance, and garnered compliments. And it's perfect for this time of the year. Not really certain if it's been reformulated, but it's one that has not aged, it's not dated at all, and it's still a solid fragrance to have in the collection. And if you've never checked it out, I think you should try checking this one out. I don't think you'd be disappointed. It's a very solid designer release. And again, I'm going to be wearing this one this fall. This is Pas Givenchy. I did a review on this fragrance a few years back. This is from the house of Zadig and Voltaire. This is Just Rock. I picked this one up after I had gotten This Is Him. And This Is Him to me is one of the best designer releases of like the last 5 to 10 years. But Just Rock is no slouch. I mean, this is an extremely sexy fragrance. It kind of has a similar vibe, whereas the This Is Him is like incense, sandalwood, and vanilla. This one has got like patchouli and some spices and amber, but it still kind of has that This Is Him DNA. So where it's very, very similar, but it is different. And if you don't have This Is Him and you were to run across Just Rock, I would say pick up Just Rock. I don't think you would be disappointed. This is definitely a solid designer release, and one I'm going to be wearing a lot more this fall winter season than I did last year. So again, I wanted to speak on this one again from the house of Zadig and Voltaire, Just Rock. From the house of Krizia, this is Krizia Pour Homme. This is a 2014 release. It's an aromatic spicy that kind of has a fougere-ish type feel, but it's not a fougere. It's got like this greenness to it. It's got some musk in the base, some sandalwood for smoothness. It is an extremely pleasant fragrance. You could wear this one to work. You could wear this one in casual settings. I think about the fragrance wardrobe and having fragrances that kind of fit all different types of scenarios, from going out like to a club or to like a bar and grill, to date night fragrances, to formal fragrances, to, you know, whatever. I mean, fragrances for all different types of situations. And I think sometimes when fragrances are like simple, I think we automatically we have a tendency to overlook them, looking for like the bangers or the ones that are going to really, you know, really stand out. And sometimes I feel like this can be a void in some people's collection. And this is a fragrance that I think would fill the void. I mean, it's truly a masculine fragrance. You might think classic stylings, but I will say my son, who's 18, often reaches for this fragrance. It has the type of smell that would appeal to any guy that likes a masculine smelling fragrance. And I think whether you are, you know, young 20s or, you know, in your 50s, this is a great fragrance to have. It's just well done. And Krizia doesn't get any love in Fragcom, you know, and this is again a 2014 release, and I don't think I've ever seen anybody really talk about it. So one to definitely check out from the house of Krizia. This is Krizia Pour Homme. All right, guys, that's my time. I hope this video found you well. Stay tuned for more content coming soon, and I will talk to you later.